Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Vinyl Den, your channel for record collecting by record collectors. I'm Nick. It's Tuesday, time to talk about some new releases coming out this Friday, May 19th. There's about 500 albums coming out this week. I got 16 on the list for today. There's a bunch of links down below. Make sure you go check them out. There's links for the Vinyl Den Facebook group, for the merch page, for the Spotify and Apple Music playlist that we put together every week, and the Patreon page. Make sure you go check all that out. Of course, if you enjoyed the episode, make sure you give me the old thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button down below. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you're notified every time I release new episodes. So like I said in the intro, there's about 500 albums coming out this week. I got 16 on the list today. So it's kind of I think there's going to be kind of a big week this week. If there's something I don't talk about on the show today, though, make sure you drop me a comment down below. Let me know what you're looking forward to. And like always, if you're unable to find any of these in your local brick and mortar stores, I'll put links down below in the show notes. You'll be able to grab all these online. So I think the big release for me this week is going to be this first one. This is Ghost Phantomime. This is a new EP of covers. So this is a follow-up to Impera that they released last year, which Impera was a great album. I think it was my number one album of last year. It was definitely in my top three. I don't remember if it was number one or not, but Impera was great. I'm definitely looking forward to this new EP that they're releasing. They've done a covers EP before. If You Have Ghost was the EP they did before, which was actually produced by Dave Grohl. I don't know if a lot of people out there know that or not, but they did a great job with that EP. I'm definitely looking forward to this one. You get there's a couple of different variants that are going to be available. This I know there's going to be a standard black version. I think it was Revolver that's doing a blue version of it. I ended up going with the Target exclusive, which is like this metallic gold looking. I think it's going to look really cool, at least from the mock-up I saw online. It's going to run you about $20. It looks like all the variants are going to be around $20. So you got tracks on here from Television, Genesis, The Stranglers, Iron Maiden, Tina Turner. Like I said, Ghost does a great job with these. I'm sure they're all going to sound fantastic. So you got that coming out this week, which I've already got on pre-order. And then you've also got Weezer Season Summer coming out. This was released last year as part of, it was a 4-part series of seasons. It was a big seasons project that they released last year. 4 separate EPs, one for spring, one for summer, which is coming out this week. And then you also had autumn and winter. So 4 different releases that they did over last year. Personally, I think spring was probably the best of the 4. Summer was okay though, but I'm not the biggest Weezer fan. But this is gonna run you about $20 online. There's a couple of variants of this also. They're going to be available. So you get the black one that's going to run you $20 this week. And then it looks like, at least from Amazon, I think it's Pop Market, and then my local record store has colored versions that are going to be available next week. But the colored versions are going to run you like $50 or $55. So it's a huge price difference between the standard black version and a colored version. So if you're interested in picking up this release, I think this is the one to grab. It's definitely the cheaper of the options. And this week, there's a really interesting soundtrack coming out. This is Weird, the Al Yankovic story. This is going to run you about $37 online. I'm really interested in this movie. I've not seen it yet. I've heard a bunch of great reviews on it, though. And in typical Weird Al fashion, it's not like a straightforward biopic telling Weird Al's story, which it kind of is, but it also stretches the truth. It kind of pokes fun at a lot of other biopics that have come out over the last several decades, which are notorious for stretching truths and rearranging things and putting some kind of outlandish things in some of the movies. So, you know, from what I see from the reviews, they all kind of do the same thing with this movie also. So I'm definitely interested in this one. It's got 46 tracks, over 2 LPs on hot pink vinyl. It's so it comes with there's a new Weird Al song on here, Now You Know, and also has the orchestral score of the soundtrack on there too. So I'm looking forward to that one. I'll probably stream that one before I pick it up. And then you also got the new album from Dave Matthews Band, Walk Around the Moon. This is their 10th studio album. It's going to be about $21 online. First album since 2018, so it's been a couple of years since they've released a new album. This was largely recorded during the lockdowns, and the band kind of got together and did their own thing. And it's one of those, I think it's one of those albums where, and I think Ian and I even talked about it on the channel here during all the lockdowns and all that stuff back in 2020, which we kind of hoped some really good music would come out of there and give people a chance to kind of sit down, get a chance from being on the road all the time, and just kind of focus on recording some new and interesting stuff. I'm not the biggest Dave Matthews Band fan, but I'll at least stream that one and check it out. Got a couple of really interesting jazz releases coming out this week. These are both part of the Blue Note Classic series, which I love the Classic series. I also love the Blue Note Tone Poet series. I've discovered a bunch of great jazz releases over the last few years from both of those. But the first one, this is Fats Navarro, the fabulous Fats Navarro Volume 1, released back in 1957. It's going to run you about $28 online, which I think is a decent price for a jazz release. So with Fats Navarro, his life was tragically cut short at age 26 back in 1950. 1957, so 7 years later, Blue Note put together a compilation of just great tracks throughout his career. These were recorded from 1947 to 1949. These is obviously a mono release, all mastered by Kevin Gray from the original analog tapes. Like I said, really looking forward to that one. Fats Navarro, if you're unfamiliar with him, just a great jazz trumpeter. Some great stuff that he did in the 40s, and it's definitely worth checking out if you're unfamiliar with his stuff. The second one you got coming out, this is Miles Davis Volume 1, released back in 1955. It's also going to run you $28 online. So this is a compilation of tracks recorded from 52 to 54. Just a great period in Miles Davis's career. I think it's the stuff he did in the 50s and the 60s, for me personally, I think is the best stuff of his career, especially like the late part of the 50s, early part of the 60s. Was I think like the golden age in jazz music, but that's my opinion. I'm sure other people probably feel differently on that one. But this is also mastered by Kevin Gray, pressed to optimal. Like I said, these jazz releases are both going to sound fantastic. So this week you got 3 Duran Duran releases being reissued. And to be completely honest, I haven't listened to any of these 3. I think Liberty, which was like 1990, 89, I think it was 1990 when Liberty came out, was the last like full Duran Duran album that I listened to. I guess I should say that I listened to Future Past when it came out. Was that 2001, I think, when Future Past came out. And I really liked it. I thought it was a really good album. Obviously it wasn't as good as a lot of Duran Duran stuff from the early part of the 80s was. But, I really enjoyed the album. Liberty was kind of the album, like I said, where I kind of lost interest. I listened to it, but I wasn't really all that impressed with it. Never went back and checked out any of the stuff that they released after that. So like I said, you got 3 of them coming out this week. The first one, this is Astronaut, was released back in 2004. It was their 11th studio album. This is a double LP. This was the first album since 1983 of the full original 5-piece lineup for Duran Duran. And, from what I understand, from what I see online reviews and things like that, it's a good album. Not a terrible album, but nothing all that great about it. I will say that all 3 of these releases are all going to run you around $33 online. The second one is Red Carpet Massacre, released in 2007. It was their 12th studio album. This was produced by Timbaland and Justin Timberlake. And from what I see on reviews, it's kind of widely regarded as one of the worst Duran Duran albums. Like I said, I do need to kind of go back and check it out. But it sounds like musically they went down a different road. Early part of the 2000s, it seemed like Timbaland was doing everyone's album. And it's a very different album from what Duran Duran had released previously. And kind of, they went back to their older kind of style of music after the release of this album. So, like I said, haven't heard it, but I do need to check it out. I'll at least stream all 3 of these. And then the last one, you've got All You Need Is Now, released in 2011. Their 13th studio album, double LP. From what I see online, this is kind of widely regarded as, if not the best, but definitely one of the best Duran Duran albums post-1990. So take that for what it is. That's kind of what I see online, what I see at least about these 3 albums. But I haven't heard any of the 3 of them, but I'll stream them and check them out. So this week you've also got 3 reissues coming out from the Melvins. The first one, this is Houdini Live 2005, released back in 2006. This is a live recording of their classic 1993 album, Houdini. So this was back in 2005. They were playing the Don't Look Back series, and they were invited to play Houdini live for that series. And then after the taping was done for that series, they were kind of inspired by the performance. So they rented out this little, I don't know if it was like a club or warehouse or what it was, but it was invite only. They had a very small crowd to get together, and they kind of redid their live Houdini set and recorded it for this release. So this is a good release if you're a Melvins fan. This is kind of the one of those kind of staple releases, these live releases. I think some of the best live stuff that the Melvins released. You've also got the Bulls and the Bees and Electroretard coming out this week. This is so the Bulls and the Bees were released back in 2012. And then it was an EP, and then when it was reissued in 2015, they did this like expanded edition of it, added Electroretard to it, which is an EP that was released back in 2001, packaged it all together and released that. So you got a reissue of that expanded release coming out this week. It's also going to run you $35. That's a double EP or double LP, I guess, if you want to look at it that way. So you got that was the second one. And then the third one you got coming out is Tres Cabrones, which my Spanish is absolutely terrible. But this was released back in 2013. Their 19th studio album. It's going to be on blue vinyl. The other two releases, I don't think I think they're just on standard black, at least what I saw online. But this one's going to be on blue vinyl. It's going to run you $24. And so this has 9 tracks that are previously recorded and released on other releases. They put them all together and put it out for this album. And if you're unfamiliar with the Melvins, go back and check out that Houdini Live 2005. It is a great live set. And then, the Bulls and the Bees I can kind of do without. But Tres Cabrones is a really good one also. There are a couple interesting anniversary releases coming out this week. The first one, this is the Lemonheads, Come On Feel the Lemonheads. First released back in 1993. It's their 6th studio album, celebrating its 30th anniversary. This is going to run you about $32 online. This is actually an expanded edition of the album. This has unreleased demos, alternate versions, and rarities in here. It is a fantastic album. It was the Lemonheads' highest charting album here in the U.S. It reached number 56 on the Billboard 200. So you got that one coming out. And then you've also got Yellow Card, Ocean Avenue, Acoustic coming out also. This was released back in 2013. It's going to run you about $21 online. And so in 2013, it was released to celebrate the 10-year anniversary of Ocean Avenue, which came out in 2003. And it's the only Yellow Card album I've ever listened to. So this is all being released to celebrate now the 20th anniversary of Ocean Avenue and the 10th anniversary of this acoustic release. So, both of those are definitely going to be great ones to grab. The next release is one that I've kind of gone back and forth on because sometimes I think these releases can be really good. Sometimes I think they can be really bad. It seems to be, one or the other. It's never like an okay kind of release. But so this is Def Leppard, Royal Philharmonic Orchestra, Drastic Symphonies. This is a new album coming out. This is a double LP. It's going to run you about $38 online. These are all newly recorded, like deconstructed and reimagined versions of Def Leppard's biggest hits. Like I said, sometimes they can be really good. Sometimes they're really bad. So it's definitely one that at least stream online and check out. I think Def Leppard is apparently at that point in their career where they've got to do things like that. I know, U2, other bands have kind of done this, like reimagining kind of thing. It's been kind of popular over the last couple of years. And like I said, for the most part, they're generally not all that great. But I'll stream that one and check it out. And then the last one I've got on my list, this is Motion City Soundtrack, I Am the Movie. Released back in 2003, is their debut album celebrating its 20th anniversary. This is going to be on Tangerine and Black Splatter vinyl. It actually looks pretty cool, at least from the mock-up I saw online. It's going to run you about $27 online. I will say that I have not actually listened to this album. I know it's like one of those like early 2000s staple rock albums that a bunch of people absolutely love. But like I said, I haven't listened to it. So at least with those last 2 releases, I'll definitely kind of go back and stream them and check them out. Well, that's all I got for you today, guys. Thanks for checking the show out. Like I said, it's going to be a big week for vinyl. There's like around 500 albums coming out. I talked about 16 today. There's not something I talked about on the show and you're really interested in picking up this week. Make sure you drop me a comment down below. Let me know what you got your eyes on this week. For me personally, I've already got that Ghost album pre-ordered. I'll stream that Dave Matthews Band. I'll probably pick up both those jazz releases. Duran I got to stream. I got some Melvins stuff I got to stream. Some Def Leppard stuff. There's a lot of stuff I'm going to stream this week before I decide to go out to the store and pick it up. But let me know what you guys think. If you enjoyed the episode, make sure you give me a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button down below. That's all I got. Until next time, keep on spinning. Peace.